Howdy everybody, welcome back to the Game Team. And we're back after a 1 week break. And I think I passed the exams I had to take, and well, I still have like 2 papers due next week and a project in like 2 weeks. But that's besides the point, because this week had multiple big events with Tokyo Game Shows occurring with an Xbox event and a PlayStation State of Play. So let's not hold off too long and get straight to the headlines, as we have some catching up to do, just like the homework I have to do. Nintendo announced last week that Pocket Pair, the studio behind Palworld, is being sued for a patent infringement. Palworld, which released earlier this year to being a huge hit, has been noted for its many similarities to Pokemon, but it's important to note that this isn't a copyright lawsuit, but a patent infringement. This means Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are not suing over the designs being similar to Pokemon, but over the actual game mechanics. Personally, I think this is just their way of getting them, just like how the IRS got Al Capone on his money. Due to this lawsuit, though, Palworld's PS5 release has been put on hold in Japan. We still don't know the full details of what the particular patent that they are suing over is, but we'll be sure to update you as soon as we find out. Ubisoft announced this week that Assassin's Creed Shadows has been delayed to February 14th, 2025. The company said the delay will give them time to polish the game and launch it in a better state. It seems that this is a part of a larger strategy Ubisoft is making to help get the company back on track after the threats of a hostile takeover we talked about just a couple weeks ago. Assassin's Creed Shadows pre-orders will now include the first expansion completely free of charge, as the Season Pass has apparently been scrapped, and the game will now also be launching on Steam day one. Ubisoft also announced that Star Wars Outlaws slightly underperformed, and that the game will be receiving major patches to make the game even better, as well as launching on Steam on November 21st along with its first expansion. As somebody who loved Outlaws a whole lot, I'm happy to see Ubisoft fully supporting the game. Hopefully the company can continue to make huge improvements with itself and making new games for a long time to come. Now, let's talk about video game events, because there was like a million of them this week. Netflix held a small event this past week talking about some of their upcoming shows, and a variety of these shows are video game adaptations. A new trailer for Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft was shown off, and as somebody who's been a little afraid of this project, seeing Lara using her dual-wield pistols was beautiful, and my hopes have shot up. The show is set to premiere on October 10th. We also got the first trailer for the Devil May Cry anime, which is set to release in 2025, a teaser for Splinter Cell Deathwatch, a new animated series based off Ubisoft's iconic franchise, and finally, a confirmation of a new cyberpunk project between Netflix Animation and CD Projekt Red. It's unknown if the fantastic Studio Trigger will be returning for the new series, but the teaser did confirm that we will indeed be returning to Night City. While some of Netflix live-action projects have been a bit of a miss, they've been cooking up some amazing animated video game adaptations, so it's great to see the trend continuing. Sega held a Sonic Central this week, and for those of you that don't know what that is, it's basically a Nintendo Direct for Sonic and his many multimedia projects. The show kicked off with a look at Sonic Rumble, Sega's newest mobile game inspired by Fall Guys. Rumble will feature the ability to customize the Sonic cast of characters as you compete in multiple rounds to be the victor. Sonic Rumbles is set to launch on PC and mobile this winter. That wasn't it for mobile announcements though, as Shadow will be making his way to Sonic Dream Team for the Year of Shadow. We then moved away from the mobile games, as Chow Tales was announced, an 8-episode animated series that will make its way to the Sonic social medias later this year. There was also plenty of crossovers announced, with Roblox, Monkey Ball Banana Rumble, 2 Point Museum, all receiving Sonic content. The Blue Blur will also be speeding into top golf locations with a digital golf game that players can play instead of the regular golf experience offered there. The biggest collab, though, was the new DC Comics and Sonic collab coming in March 2025. Ian Flynn will be writing a 5-issue series starring Sonic as the Flash, Amy as Wonder Woman, Knuckles as Superman, Tails as Cyborg, Shadow as Batman, and Silver as the Green Lantern. This will be a long-term deal, as more things are planned for 2026. very weird collab. The show ended with a new look at Sonic X Shadow Generations, as a new trailer gave us a look at some of the villains Shadow will be facing in his new campaign, including reuniting with Maria. Seiko will also be releasing a new animated series titled Dark Beginnings leading up to the game's release, so head over to their channels to get a look at that. And also, kind of randomly, PlayStation will be getting exclusive animated intros for the game because apparently you can make cutscenes exclusive now. But anyways, that's enough for Sonic today, if not like the rest of the month, so let's move on to our other headlines. Xbox continues its tradition of having a small Tokyo Game Showcase event as they have the last couple of years, and it came with some great announcements, including a lot of Square Enix titles. For first party, Xbox revealed the first major expansion for Age of Mythology Retold, titled Immortal Pillars, which will bring Chinese myth to the games with 12 new gods. Fallout 76 also got an update which will see pets coming to the game. Xbox also confirmed that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle will have a full Japanese localization on day one. The biggest first party announcement though was Overwatch's newest collaboration, which is My Hero Academia. Starting on October 15th, Overwatch will see skins for Tracer as Deku, Juno as Uraraka, Reinhardt as All Might, Kiriko as Toga, and Reaper as Shigaraki. I'm sorry if I mispronounced any of that. Xbox also gave lots of time to their partners, including new looks at the new Atelier Yumiya game, Bleach Rebirth of Souls, Slitterhead, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, Threads of Time, and my weirdly favorite premiere with Tanuki Pon's Summer, which sees you playing as a Tanuki delivering packages on a BMX bike in a small town. It's truly amazing the things video games allow you to do. Square Enix made the biggest splash at the show though, as Xbox's newly rebuilt partnership continues to grow. Legends of Mana and Trials of Mana are both coming to Xbox for the first time after previously skipping the console, and will also be launching on Game Pass today. Square also shared a new trailer for Dragon Quest III's remake, which will also be launching on Xbox Day 1 on November 14th. The biggest announcement though from Square Enix was Final Fantasy's pixel remasters of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, all coming to Xbox. This will be the first time any of these games are available on any Xbox platform. It's great to see Square supporting more platforms, and I hope it's another step in ending major exclusivity for their big games. Moving on to our final event of the week, Sony held a pretty great state of play with some huge announcements, so let's jump straight into the highlights from that. Astrobot looks to be setting itself up as a huge franchise moving forward, and the game will be receiving 5 new online speedrun levels and 10 new bots to rescue, including a Helldiver bot and Eve from Stellar Blade. The first update for the game will be coming this fall, and speaking of Stellar Blade, the game will be receiving a collaboration with Nier Automata, as an upcoming DLC will allow players to put Eve in a 2B costume. This of course continues Nier's journey of being in like every game possible. One of my personal favorite announcements in the show though was the Midnight Walk from the creators of Lost in Random. This game will have players be able to play in VR also, which is pretty cool. You'll be playing as Pop Boy as he explores a world that was fully sculpted with clay, then 3D scanned into the game. It looks really awesome. And yeah, there's more Sonic news, even though I said I was like, yeah, Sonic X Shadow Generations will be receiving a movie pack on December 15th that allows players to play as Shadow in levels inspired by this upcoming third movie. That's not it though, as Shadow in this mode will be voiced by Keanu Reeves. How beautiful. Monster Hunter Wilds received a pretty lengthy showcase with new locations such as the Scarlet Forest, as well as a look at the flagship monster for the game, Arkveld. The big reveal, of course, though, was the release date reveal, which is February 28th, 2025. Looking forward to it. Another game that had its release date revealed was Dynasty Warrior Origins, the newest game in the long-running franchise, which is set for a January 17th, 2025 release. There was also a flurry of remasters announced, as Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 are getting remasters from Asper, set to launch on December 10th. Silver Star Story Complete and Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete are getting remastered with a spring 2025 release. And finally, the big first party remaster, because It wouldn't be a PlayStation showcase without a PS4 remaster, Horizon Zero Dawn remaster. Set for an October 31st release on both PS5 and PC, the game will have over 10 hours of re-recorded dialogue, new mocap and graphical improvements, as well as also bringing over Aloy's mount model from Horizon Forbidden West. I personally don't think it needed a remaster, but bringing it in line with Forbidden West seems like a nice thing, I guess. Staying with Horizon though, LEGO Horizon Adventures finally got a release date of November 14th, and the trailer showed off some of the costumes you'll be able to get dressed up in, including a Ratchet, Rivet, and Sackboy costume. That LEGO Sackboy might actually get me to buy the game. Some other games shown off during the State of Play were Alan Wake 2's Lake House DLC, Arc Age Chronicles, Dragon Age the Veilguard, Fantasia Neo Dimension, Fear the Spotlight, which is looking really good, Hell is Us, and Hitman's VR mode coming to PSVR 2. Of course, the biggest announcement of the show was Ghost of Yotei, the sequel to 2020's Ghost of Tsushima. The new game will be set 300 years after the original and follow a brand new protagonist, Atsu. The setting will be the lands surrounding Mount Yotei in Japan. This is the area we know today as Hokkaido. The vegetation, skies, and landscapes look beautiful, and the scene we see with the horses running is just phenomenal. Most intriguingly, it seems Atsu will be able to make connections with animals, as we see her working with a wolf in this trailer. As a huge fan of the original game, I'm very excited for Ghost of Yotei, which is currently set for a 2025 release. It has been a while, but welcome back to something cool. Nintendo gave a preview to the press for the Nintendo Museum, and while there has been a lot of info to come out from said event, I wanted to highlight the store, which has these giant plush controllers. Like, look at the Wiimote, it's amazing. I really do need one. Also, we can now buy officially licensed Virtual Boy merchandise. What a world we live in. I'm definitely gonna have to start looking at that trip to Japan soon to see this Nintendo Museum. And with that, this has been the Game Fiend. That was a whole lot of information, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I assume next week will probably be a quiet one, but who knows? Remember to click that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified when new episodes drop. I've been your host, Brandon Elanese. See you all soon.